Hello my friends, what a fantastic sunny day today in October in Sweden. We have sunshine about 10-15 degrees, so what could be better than going out for a motorcycle ride? And today actually I want to talk about the bike I've had for 1 year now, my Husqvarna 701 Explorer. Before that you might see there's a little innovation, or you might hear it actually, because the distance from the camera to me is now much bigger. I actually bought a little microphone, wireless one, so I hope the sound is now much better, and even that it's windy today a little bit as usual, I hope the audio is much better. Bad audio kills good video, so I hope I'm getting better by now. So let's take a look what happened in the last year with that bike. So today I do even have an audience here, as you see, quite a big one. I guess they were curious, they are up there on the meadows and then coming down here, probably wondering what is this strange blue-white cow doing here. So some of you might know the story. Actually I had a few big bikes before, like a KTM 1050 Adventure, like a Honda Africa Twin CRF 1000, yes I agree, a good bike. Like a KTM 790 Adventure R, which was almost overkill for what I'm doing here with the bike. And last then a Norden 901, which was a great all-road touring machine, but I think were all a little bit on the heavy side. So I decided a year ago to downgrade to something lighter and swap the 901 for a 701 from Husqvarna. Why not the KTM 690? I thought it was too much orange. I like the blue-white color more. Engine is anyway the same. Accessories were coming out. So talking about accessories, I used the winter to equip the bike with the stuff I wanted to have on it, like the crash bars and the rear luggage rack from Adventure Spec in Great Britain. They also make this nice, simple, easy, light and relatively cheap front fairing. So these parts arrived by March, April finally. There are some differences in the mounting points here on the rear for the 690 and the 701, so I needed to wait quite a few weeks until they finally came with the luggage rack which fitted here. So I think the whole pattern here is different. The tank size is also different, so there's a shape difference between the 690 and the 701. The front fairing here, however, fitted right away, and I've made a separate video to that. You will notice it's white, and that is because the original clear one was breaking quite quickly, but I will link you with video in the description down there about that special video about that front fairing. So after a long and snowy winter, finally spring came. From April approximately onwards you could ride a bike again here. And right away in May I went down with a friend of mine to Croatia. So I was riding all the way down to Hamburg. Cheated a little bit because I was taking the car train from Hamburg to Innsbruck. And then we rode all the way down through Croatia down to Albania. That wasn't entirely planned because there wasn't any ferry from Croatia going over to Italy. And then all the way through Italy up again. So that was the first big trip, 7,000 kilometers. So currently I bought the bike with 7,500 kilometers, and currently I am on, let's see, where is it? Come on, 22,300, so almost 23,000 kilometers. So that means quite some mileage this year, from 7.5 to 23, right? There haven't been any real problems with that bike so far. The only thing that happened that was a bit strange when I came to Hamburg back after one night where the bike had been on the car train, an open transport car, riding with 160 kilometers an hour on that train in the rain. It was basically pressure washed. I suddenly had no front light. No, I think the front light was still there. No indicators, no LCD display, and some other electrical things were not working. So I thought, oh no, come on, not now on the way home. I only have 3 days to get home. I need to work on Monday again. So I stopped at a gas station, pulled the fuses out, checked them, nothing strange there. Put them all back, disconnected the battery, waited 5 minutes, and then everything was fine again. And that never happened since then. So I guess there was just some humidity, a little drop of water somewhere where there shouldn't be any water. And that has really been so far the only defect, hiccup, let's call it a hiccup, the bike had. So really nothing serious. The other day this week when I wanted to ride it, the battery was a little bit weak. It just started, so I need to keep an eye on the battery. In my experience, batteries don't last forever, of course, everybody knows that. 2 years sounds a little bit short, but maybe I need a new battery for the next season. Today it started now. When the bike came, it still had the original tires on it. I don't actually recall what that was, but it was clear these tires will not survive the long trip down to Croatia. And at that time I didn't even know that I would ride so much more down to Albania, because there wasn't any ferry to Italy going yet, as I said. So I decided to try something new and went for the Dunlop Trail Max Ride. Very nice tire, I have to say. Still got 3-4 millimeters left, so it will definitely last this season. I put them on at around 10,000 kilometers, and as I said, I'm now at 22, almost 23,000 kilometers, so they have lasted approximately 12-13,000 kilometers, which is a great mileage actually, I think. Before I've always used, or many times used, the Heidenau K60, but the Heidenau K60 in the, I think in the 140 width already comes with a middle strip, which is of course great for great mileage, but has a grip problem. These here are a little bit more open profile, but they work nicely both on dry ground, at least gravel, sand and anything like that, but also on the pavement even if it's wet. So my personal new favorite is the Dunlop Trail Max Ride. The front tire is still perfectly fine. I guess that will actually survive one more rear tire, so 2 rear tires on 1 front tire. The locked tank cap with a screw type one. Actually, I have to admit, from a Chinese manufacturer, because all the other stuff was so horribly expensive, I thought that I took that one. And it's nice, it's blue, it fits the bike, and you don't need a key. There seems to be a habit of that locked original tank lock to break the key when you open it up. And imagine you're standing somewhere on a vacation in the middle of nowhere, out on a village, filling up, and then your key is broken. Really worst case, you're really fucked up then. So for that reason I right away put a screw cap on it. Fuel efficiency is really good, I think. I mean, I'm not an aggressive rider, I'm an explorer. That's why I call the bike 701 Explorer. So I'm normally running about 4 liters, 4.1 liters, 100 kilometers. Let's see how much miles per gallon that is. Still not getting used to these, or will never get used to these strange units. So I'll put that here. So fuel economy quite good, of course not as good as, for example, like the little Honda CRF 300, but that one is in a totally different power class also. I mean, this is 75 horsepower. So those of you who really know Husqvarna and the bike have probably noticed that the seat I'm having on the bike here is not the original one from the factory, but it's the Husqvarna Comfort seat from the Power Parts catalog. It is a little bit differently shaped, where you say it's slightly higher, half a centimeter or something like that, than the original seat. Comfort wise, I don't know, I couldn't feel much of a difference. I would really like to have the Seat Concepts seat for that bike, but the Seat Concept seats are sold extremely expensive here in Europe, where it charges about 600 euros for that seat. There is a European importer. Probably they put some extra margin on it, of course. If I should ever get to the US again, I would buy it there and bring it with me. But for 600 euros for a seat is total overkill. So far I'm happy with it. And I know that my backside isn't very sensitive, because I've been cycling so many years, so I'm used to bicycle saddles also, so this is already quite comfortable. But I have the seat concept seat on my WR 250R, which is a really nice seat, and if that seat would be so good on the 701 here, that would be a dream, but again, for 600 euros, nope. Talking about economy, I mean, I'm an engineer by profession, but I'm not a motorcycle mechanic. So honestly, I've never opened an engine so far to check valves, for example. So I was really shocked when I saw the price tag for the service for that bike. The 10,000 kilometer service I negotiated with the shop when I bought the bike. Then came the 20,000 kilometers, and I went to that same shop and they wanted, I think it was 7,500 crowns, which is around also 650 euros. And I thought this is by far too much. I mean, it's post-COVID now, prices have gone up, I understand that, but I haven't asked them how that price is built up, how that price is composed of labor and parts, but I decided, since the warranty now has expired anyway, I don't need the workshop for everything, so I just told them, do just the valves, and I think I paid 1,600 for that, 1,600 Swedish crowns, and all the other stuff, including oil, filter, stuff and like that, and even then next year maybe brake fluid and cooling fluid, that's something I can do myself. But that's not a model-specific problem, that's a general problem that prices for workshops and prices for labor, I think, have risen quite significantly since COVID, since the last maybe 5 years. So did I ever regret selling the 901 and getting the 701 instead? No. Not one moment, actually. Yes, the bike is not as comfortable as a big two-cylinder bike. That comes naturally with the lighter weight. But as an example, when we were riding there in Croatia, or no, that was in Italy later actually. In Italy, we had a long 35 kilometers uphill into the mountains. Quite a bit more technical and rough than the forest roads and logging trails we are used to here in Sweden. I came up there and I enjoyed it really. It was a lot of riding in first gear and second gear, and very occasionally only third gear, so most in second, I guess. My friend came up there on his Tenere 700 and said, "Boah, I'm really exhausted." So I think that is the difference between a light and a heavy bike. A heavier bike is exhausting you quicker than a lighter bike if the going gets a bit tougher. And you might wonder actually where I'm here. This is an old rail bed of a narrow gauge railway. Behind there is a little town called Rimbo, and this is going towards Stockholm here. It's been abandoned since the 1960s, but it seems to be okay to ride on it. There are horses passing by here, I can see that. So there's another subject with motorcycles. I just posted a video last week about it, motorcycle noise and the exhaust, because I'm running that bike right now on a Wings exhaust, which I bought last week because I thought the Ramos is too loud. But I'll put a video, or I'll put a link to that video also in the description here. So enjoy the rest of your riding season. Mine is slowly coming to an end. Could be this is the last motorcycle video for the year, for the season, but a new year is going to come, and first we'll probably look into a nice winter with hopefully lots of snow and some nice cold temperatures. Enjoy it and ride safely. See you. Bye.